Well, hey, everybody. It's Monday, June 1st. We're in a new month, and this is your Hope Update. Something you probably won't hear from most pastors, it's a confession of mine. I hate the book of Isaiah. Now, for those of you who don't know, Isaiah is a book of the Bible in the Old Testament, and hate's a little strong, but years ago I thought, Isaiah, it's this epic book. I want to read through Isaiah. I've never been in more pain in Bible study in my life than trying to read through the book of Isaiah. You can only hear so many times over how God is going to mow down the nation, tear down their walls, leave their cities empty. It is a pessimistic, pretty violent, just kind of a bummer of a book. Now, the reason most people are surprised when I say that I don't like Isaiah is the reason they're surprised is because Isaiah is also the book where all kinds of great pearls and promises, things that we hold dear as people of faith, it's the book where they also come from. Over more than one of these Hope Updates, I've shared with you a word of God, a promise of God from Isaiah. And so there's this irony there. And this is an irony that's not only true of Isaiah, but it's true in life. That some of the brightest promises come in the darkest moments. This weekend, we're actually kicking off a new series here at Pathfinder called Making Rainbows. And as we plan the series, I'm really excited about it. We're going to look through the book of Ecclesiastes, but more important, as we plan the series, we just acknowledge this reality that still in our high-def world where on my phone, I can see vivid colors, probably more vivid than anything in nature. Still, when we're driving along after a storm in the car as a family and we see a rainbow, it's an amazing experience. There's nothing like, even like I said, in our high-tech world, there's nothing like seeing a rainbow. And I think what makes rainbows especially impactful is that they come on the heels of dark, violent, scary storms. They come in some of life's darkest moments. And they come breaking into that darkness as a promise, as a hopeful promise. So think about our world right now. We need to know that. We need to remember that. Not only have we been dealing with COVID, and there's bright spots on that. I just heard a great thing about how Italy is saying that the coronavirus they're dealing with now in second waves is not near as severe. It's not as ferocious of a virus as it was initially. And so there's good stuff there. But still, we're dealing with that. And then this last week, our nation, and even beyond our nation, our world is responding in pain to acts of violence by police, systematic oppression of people through the George Floyd murder. And that's just, it's so disturbing. And there's so much darkness right now in our world. But what that actually means for people of faith is that it's time to look for a rainbow. It's a time that is ripe for God to break in and to not only speak words of promise, but to fulfill his promise. In moments in life when it is dark and it is scary and it is chaotic and you feel threatened, those are the moments in nature that God brings signs of his promise with a rainbow, but those are the moments where God comes and he not only makes promises, but he fulfills promises. He does something powerful and beautiful right in our midst. And that was certainly true in Isaiah. Again, I don't enjoy reading through all of Isaiah together, but man, I love the promises that are found in the middle of the darkness of Isaiah. One of those actually I want to read to you today. It's Isaiah 42, and it's a short verse, Isaiah 42, verse 16. God says, "I will lead the blind by ways they have not known. Along unfamiliar paths I will guide them." And I certainly feel like we are walking unfamiliar paths right now as a world. And God says, but I'm going to be your guide. Then he says this, "I will turn the darkness into light before them and make the rough places smooth. These are the things I will do. I will not forsake them." That's just one simple promise coming from this pretty dark book, Isaiah, full of a lot of doom and gloom, where God says, hey, you know what? But even in the darkness, I'm going to be with you. and I will bring light to the darkness. I will smooth out the rough places. I will not fail to keep my promise to you. So, as we kick off a new series this weekend, as we think about the pain of our world, the darkness of our world, the sadness of our world, as we try to make the world a better place, and we may even disagree about how to do that, as we may just look around and go, "What is happening? 2020 was not supposed to be like this." I also want you to remember that rainbows, these mesmerizing signs of God's promise, these beautiful things that God brings into the world, they come on the heels of the most dark, stormy, chaotic, threatening moments. And so, people of God, as our world looks dark, it's time for us to look for God's rainbows. It's time for us to claim the promises of God, to look for what God is doing in our midst that's good, and to trust that He's a God who will always keep His promises to us. He will bring light to our darkness. He will make rough places smooth. He will not fail to keep His promise to us. I'm excited to continue to talk to you about this over the next few weeks on weekends with our through our series. I also want to say this, that if you missed it, we are now open for in-person worship. And we had a great opening weekend, had a few hundred people join us live. It was vibrant. Our sanctuary was definitely less full than it normally is, intentionally so. But man, the energy and the joy from people being present, it was powerful. And so if you want to join us for that, check out our website for how to make yourself ready for that. We will be here in person. Also, I want to let you know that I'm taking a little bit of a break next week. And so we're going to take a break from Hope Updates. Friday, I'll have one for you, God willing. And then we're going to take a break from those things as well for a little while. But along the way, if you want to dare to read the book of Isaiah, go ahead. You'll have to muddle through some hard stuff, but keep looking for those words of promise, those rainbows that God brings, especially on the heels of dark and scary times. He's doing it in our midst right now if we have eyes to see it. So keep looking for rainbows. God bless you this week. I'll see you Friday.